Breathing form. Alfio Giuffrida and the Poetics of Visual Silence. Alfio Giuffrida's art moves in a liminal region where form is no longer an object, but a breath, where space is no longer a container, but a threshold. In this rarefied territory, his work emerges as a visual poetics that seeks not to say, but to let be. It is not written poetry. It is constructed poetry, a poetry that unfolds in modules, rhythms, pauses, a poetry that contemplates itself. The grammar of silence. Giuffrida does not work with the noise of the world, but with its silence. His structures do not shout, they whisper. Every surface is a pause, every corner a suspension, every repetition a meditation. His visual grammar is made of subtractions, distances, balances. It is a language that seeks not to convince, but to welcome, a language that does not describe, but evokes. In this sense, his art is profoundly poetic, not in the literary sense, but in the ontological sense. It's a way of inhabiting the world, of thinking about it, of breathing it. His works don't illustrate concepts, they embody them. They don't tell stories, they open states. The threshold as a poetic figure. The threshold is the privileged place of his poetics. Its forms do not close, do not delimit, do not separate. They open, they invite, they connect. Every structure is a passage. Every module is a possibility. The threshold is not just space. It is time. It is waiting. It is suspension. It is the moment in which something can happen, but has not yet happened. Giuffrida builds thresholds that lead not elsewhere, but within, into thought, into silence, into contemplation. His art is a threshold crossed with the gaze, with the breath, with presence. Rhythm as meditation. Rhythm in his work is not decoration. It is structure. It is rhythm. It is internal time. Modular repetitions are not mechanical. They are rituals. Every variation is a prayer. Every symmetry is a visual rosary. Rhythm becomes meditation. It becomes contemplation. It becomes poetry. As in the verses of a poem, where meter is not just form, but breath, so in his works, rhythm is what allows the form to live, to vibrate, to be. Light as revelation. Light in Giuffrida is not an effect. It is substance. Its surfaces do not reflect. They let through. Its geometries do not illuminate. They reveal. Light becomes poetic material. It becomes a silent voice. It becomes presence. In many of his compositions, light is filtered, modulated, suspended. It is a light that does not invade, but caresses. As in certain sacred architectures where the light is not full, but dim, not direct, but diffused. Light becomes a threshold. It becomes breath. It becomes poetry. Emptiness as origin. Emptiness in his work is not absence. It is origin. It is active space. It is what allows the form to breathe, to exist, to vibrate. Emptiness is the condition of poetry. It is what remains when the noise dissolves. It is the place where thought retreats and being expands. Giuffrida does not fill. He empties. He does not impose. He lets be. The void becomes grammar. It becomes rhythm. It becomes meaning. It is a poetics of emptiness, where every absence is a potential presence. Relationship as texture. His forms do not exist in isolation. They connect, they support each other, they respond to each other. The work becomes a network, a system, a map. It is a poetics of relationship, a mysticism of connection, a thought on being as a knot, as a weave, as a texture. This vision approaches choral poetry, where each voice is part of a larger song. Each form is part of a broader breath. Each structure is part of a shared vision. Conclusion. Inhabiting poetry. Giuffrida's art is not to be owned. It is to be inhabited. It is not to be explained. It is to be contemplated. It is not to be interpreted. It is to be breathed. His visual poetry invites us to slow down, to pause, to think. It invites us to see the world not as an object, but as a threshold, not as a thing, but as a space, not as a problem, but as poetry. Form is not a boundary. It is openness. Alfio, Giuffrida.